Yamiche, what are you expecting the Trump campaign to throw at Kamala Harris?
Well, the Trump campaign and the president have already started talking about Kamala Harris and attacking her, saying that she's someone who they see as radical left. They've been talking about her stances when it comes to immigration, when it comes to fracking, when it comes to healthcare, claiming that she is going to abolish the police. The thing that is interesting here is also that the Trump campaign began their attack on Kamala Harris with a misleading statement. They said that Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist, and she never did that. She also never called for abolishing the police as a former prosecutor. Instead, what's interesting here is that there are Black Lives Matter protesters who are really looking at her as a prosecutor, saying that maybe she isn't progressive enough. The other thing that we should note, of course, is that the president, just in a few minutes of a briefing, called her nasty 3 times, using that really gendered word to describe her, and saying that she was disrespectful to Justice Kavanaugh and Joe Biden. So I think what we could expect is that the Trump campaign is going to really be, I think, dirty in this fight. But I think that's part of why President Trump's supporters, frankly, like him. I've talked to so many who say they like his brash brand of politics. We'll just have to see if it actually works out this time.
Let's take a look at the ad Karl Rove used to try to stop Kamala Harris 10 years ago.
Our son was killed in the line of duty with an AK-47 by a gang member.
Even before his burial, Kamala Harris refused to seek the death penalty against his killer. Tell Kamala Harris, California's worst criminals deserve the toughest punishment the law allows. No exceptions, no excuses.
Jennifer, we're going to see more of that.
Right. And you saw 2 things happen today on the Trump side. You saw they did the ad where they called phony Kamala and Sleepy Joe. Phony is a very gendered term that we use to present women with women in power in a unfavorable light, right? There's something fake about them. There's something they're hiding. There's something suspicious about them. It's a very old trope. But then you saw Trump go down the nasty woman sort of rabbit hole, as he did with Hillary. And there's some times where Trump or his campaign staff can be disciplined and effective in the way that they attack their political opponents. And then there's some times where Trump goes into a death spiral. And when he's starting off by calling her nasty and mean, that is not a disciplined attack. It is not very pleasant for Kamala Harris, but I don't know that is going to be effective for him. She is prepared. The Biden campaign is prepared. They know that they're coming after her in particular and trying to make her the face of the radical left. There will be sexist tropes against her, too. But there's a lot of people that have been planning both in and outside of the Biden campaign to have her back and fight back this time.